Yes, hello class 10. So we are going to start with chapter number 2, that is the factor leading to the growth of nationalism and the foundation of international congress. So the first topic which we will discuss today is the nationalism. नेशनलिज्म में डिनोट द पेट्रियोटिज्म और डिवोशन टू द नेशन. सो नेशनलिज्म एक आपकी राष्ट्रवाद की भावना है जो आपके अंदर डिवोशन पैदा करती है अपनी कंट्री के लिए. वन हु इज पेट्रियोटिक एंड लव हिज कंट्री और फील रिस्पेक्ट फॉर हिज कंट्री, लॉयल्टी टुवर्ड्स हिज कंट्री. So that is basically the feeling of nationalism, when you respect your country, when you have love for your country, when you have loyalty towards your country, and then only you can basically lay down your life for the freedom of your country. So nationalism comes with the love and love comes with the respect, whereas respect comes from the knowledge of the country. So there were many people who start, as you know, that Britishers, they brought the Western education in India and they start insulting the Indian education, Indian literature. They said that you are uncivilized, we are civilized. So in that way, Indians also, they thought, yeah, that our country, our country is not having any culture and we are uncivilized only. But there were many social reformers who had brought back the Vedic system, Vedic literature, and they told the Indians that see, whatever they are teaching here, it has already been part of our culture. So in that way, they inbuilt the habit of, we can say the respect among the Indians for their country, and after the respect there was been love towards the country, and when the knowledge comes there was respect, and respect comes with the love, and that love will allow the feeling of nationalism, and when the nationalism feeling comes, then only there was been the national movement. So this nationalism topic is very important as we are revising it, so the question can also be asked. Okay, so now we will start with the next topic, that is the contribution of Raja RAMMOHAN Roy. So you can see here the picture, it can also come in picture study. So if we talk about the contribution, he was one of the philanthropists, that is the social reformer. He established the Brahmo Samaj in 1828, that was his first contribution. He was a great humanist who focused in the unity of all religions. He basically mentioned that there was been equality of all religion and we should work for the humanity. In 1829, with his efforts, Sati system was being banned by Lord William Bentinck with his efforts. So he was the person behind the banning of the Sati system. His books include of Samvat Kamodi and the Persian fable Mirat-ul-Akbar. That was his basic contribution. So this was basically the contribution of Raja RAMMOHAN Roy. Now we'll see the contribution of Jyotiba Phule. You can see here the picture. Jyotiba Phule, he fought against the caste system. He himself belonged to the lower caste, and he opened in 1848 the first girls' school in Maharashtra. He founded the Satyashodhak Samaj in 1873, which worked to mitigate the distress of Dalits and the women. He wrote a book Gulamgiri, which is basically focusing on the domination of Brahmin class, and he said that there should be no distinction on the basis of the caste system. He also opened the orphanages in 1854 to provide shelter to the poor and the women. So this was basically the contribution of Jyotiba Phule. Now we'll read some of the questions here. What is nationalism? So nationalism is a feeling of love and devotion to your country, by which you can lay down your life for your country and for your freedom of your country. Who founded the Brahmo Samaj, and write the contribution of him. So who founded the Brahmo Samaj? Brahmo Samaj was founded by Raja RAMMOHAN Roy. If we write about his contribution, first of all, he founded the Brahmo Samaj, which basically he focused over the equality of all the religion and basically focusing on humanism. He was the person who is behind the banning of the Sati system in 1829. Okay? And then last, that his work includes Samvat Kamodi and Mirat-ul-Akbar. Yeah. Mention any two social evils that were criticized by Raja RAMMOHAN Roy. First of all, he criticized the Sati system, and secondly the widow remarriage. Mention the work of Raja RAMMOHAN Roy. Obviously we discussed the work of Raja RAMMOHAN Roy, that he initiated the Brahmo Samaj. He was a person who basically focused on humanism and not the division of the caste system or the religion or any other causes. He was a person who was behind the banning of the Sati system in 1829 by Lord William Bentinck. His works include of the Samvat Kamodi and Mirat-ul-Akbar. Who founded the Satyashodhak Samaj? Satyashodhak Samaj was founded by Jyotiba Phule. Mentioned two social reforms favored by Jyotiba Phule. So social reform which he favored was that basically he worked against the gender injustice, and also he worked against the denomination or domination of the Brahmin class. He worked for the lower class people. Write the three contributions of Jyotiba Phule. The first contribution is that he basically worked for the gender injustice. He basically worked for the orphan people. He basically worked for the women, the education of the women. He was the person who also wrote a book Gulamgiri, which is basically focus on the domination of the Brahmin class. So these are the question of the topic. So the next thing which we are going to read is the role of the press and the literature. If we talk about the role of the press and literature, so Indian press and literature, it helped in eroding the nationalism feeling in India. So basically keep printing the various articles related to the Indian literature, related to Indian Vedic literature, where people used to read it and they realized that yeah, our culture is also having some important things. The newspaper, they criticize even the Britishers, expose the Britishers, the real side of the Britishers by showing them how they are racially and doing the injustice to the Indians. The papers like the Amrit Bazar Patrika, the Patriot, the Maratha, the Kesari, they filled people with a feeling of patriotism. There were some of the writers also who write the patriotic literature, like the Bankim Singh Chatterjee, who wrote the Vande Mataram, Rabindranath Tagore, who had written our national anthem. So in that way, the newspapers and the journals, it has been infused the feeling of the nationalism into the people. The nationalist press also progressed during this period. So these people, they used to influence the people by writing the various patriotic articles and also showing the right side and also exposing the Britishers and their policies. So in that way, the press and the literature also played a great role in the feeling of nationalism and also turning to be a background or a foundation for the we can say the national movement. Okay. So next we are going to read about the foundation of the Indian National Congress. So INC, basically INC if we talk about. So before the INC there have been the two associations just like the INC, which was not for the whole country but particularly for a region. So these two were regarded as the forerunners or the precursors of the Indian National Congress. Precursors matlab who created a background for Indian National Congress. So that was East India Association, which was formed in 1886 in London, and it was founded by Dada Bhai Naroji. And second was the Indian Association in 1876 at Kolkata, which was founded by Surendranath Banerjee. So these two organizations, East India Association and Indian Association, were regarded as the forerunner of INC. So INC was founded by a British civil servant, retired British civil servant A.O. Hume. He is regarded as Alan Octavian Hume. He was a retired British civil servant and he regarded as father of INC in 1885. So Indian National Congress was founded by A.O. Hume in 1885. The first session, there were the three sessions. So all the three sessions are very important with their date, with their president and also the place. The first session of Indian National Congress is held at Bombay in 1885, presided by the W.C. Banerjee. The second session of the Indian National Congress is held at Kolkata in 1886, that is in succession, presided by the Dada Bhai Naroji. And the third session of Indian National Congress held at Chennai 1887, presided by Badruddin Tuapji. So first at Bombay, second at Kolkata, third at Chennai, the W.C. Banerjee, Dada Bhai Naroji and Badruddin Tuapji. So this is basically the foundation of Indian National Congress. Now we will read some of the objectives. First objective is that it enabled the national workers from all the part of the Indian personality know each other. So before that, they were East India Association, Indian Association, some were association in Kolkata, some were in London. So all the people of India, all the leaders of India, they can meet at one platform. So INC acts as a platform where they can come together, where they can discuss their common grievances. To form a common platform where the Britishers can talk to Indians on various matters, basically Britishers, they established this Indian National Congress because they can't connect with the whole of India. So they want that, okay, we will just talk to the few representative of the Indians if you want to talk on some issues, and if any of the Indians, they are having grievances, so that grievances should be passed by these leaders. So it is a kind of platform or a middle platform for the Britishers and the people of India. To train and organize the public opinion in the country, so Britishers, they want to train the Indians that how the government work, because they know that Indians were basically they had been lived into monarchy. Now they want them to turn into a well organized public opinion in the case of the government. The formulation of the popular demand on the vital Indian problems and their presentation before the government. So that was a common platform. These were the objectives. Now few questions. What role did press and literature played in injecting the spirit of patriotism in India? Basically the press and the literature, different newspapers, different we can say magazine, they have filled the people by the feeling of nationalism, patriotism, by writing various articles regarding the Indian literature, by relocating or rebringing the past of the country, by rebringing the magnificent literature, by filling the people with the pride feeling, and also initiating of various songs which fill the people and infuse the people with the feeling of patriotism, and also exposing the Britishers by their policies and also showing the right side of the Britishers. In that way they filled or they injected the spirit of nationalism in India. Which two association regarded as forerunner of Indian National Congress? So it was East India Association founded by Dada Bhai Naroji and the Indian Association founded by Surendranath Banerjee. When and by whom was the Indian National Congress founded? So Indian National Congress was founded in 1885 by Alan Octavian Hume. Mention first three sessions, president and venue of the Congress. So the first session it held at Bombay. and the president was W.C. Banerjee in 1885. The second session it held at Kolkata in 1886, and the president was Dadabhai Naroji, and the third session it held at 1887 in Chennai, and the president was Badruddin Twapsi. Okay, so this much questions has been asked from this chapter, and the last one is 3 objectives of INC. So if we talk about the objective, is basically to enable the national workers to come to the same platform and discuss their matter, to provide a national base, to train and organize the public opinion in the country, and also to end all the racial, religious and provincial prejudices. So these are the basic important questions from this chapter. I hope you understand. So please kindly see this video properly, understand these questions. If you want to copy, you can copy it. Thank you so much.